Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jeb. So we got some more gameplay here. We got another little, like, gameplay clip drop thing that we've never seen before. So, campaign early access backstab. Modern Warfare 2 gameplay. Apparently there's, like, just a couple seconds of new gameplay here.
This way, we're going for Sin Nombre. Expect resistance. On me, so.
Digitally pre-order call.
Yep, there it is. Right here. So this little clip right here where you see with the riot shielders just like walking up, there's 3 of them. It seems like they're all the same riot shield, I guess. But again, this could just be like a campaign type of thing. And I'm not saying that the riot shield isn't going to be in multiplayer, but first I need to mention this. I think maybe a week ago, I actually ended up asking the question, have we seen any riot shield in any trailer, anything, any rumors, any leaks? And I was saying to myself, with all the leaks and shit that I have seen and talked about and shit, for some reason off the top of my head, I couldn't remember if there was a riot shield or not. And not that it's a huge deal or anything, but it makes for a lot of good moments and content and shit like that, so, you know, I get it. I'm pointing this out here now because now that we're finally seeing the riot shields, one thing that you can see here is there's 2 guys here pointing their weapons around the riot shield. Whereas we know that in multiplayer, we can never do that. In multiplayer, that was never the case, unless we're playing like what? I think it was like BO4 or something, where you could run around with a riot shield that had a machine gun attached to the shit or something. That was kind of crazy, but other than that, I can't believe I said that shit with a straight face. Yeah, we actually at one point had a riot shield with like a machine gun attached into it. These riot shields look a little different than the ones that we normally know. The ones that we usually have, at least in the Modern Warfare series anyway, they seem to be a bit more squared. The edges are a bit more hard, I think. So it does seem like it has a bit more cover than what these have, but again, that all comes down to, you know, how well does it actually cover your feet? How well does it represent when your character's moving around? How easy it is to shoot the people in the feet and stuff like that? I mean, I think on Vanguard, there was a huge issue on Vanguard with the riot shields, not just running around with on their back. There was a problem, I think it was on Vanguard, where the riot shield, it couldn't do its job properly. The thing you would usually do with the riot shield is whenever you see somebody, you would crouch, so it would end up completely blocking your body so you don't get shot in the feet when you're trying to move forward. It's usually the way to safely approach, okay? You can rush them down, obviously. You can do other kinds of little plays, stuns, and other things like that. You can do all sorts of stuff. But generally, the full defensive mode is to literally just crouch with the riot shield to try to fully block yourself. Now, this one could run into the same problem where, you know, it's got its own issues trying to protect you and stuff, and then they're gonna have to, you know, adjust it. So yeah, with riot shields being confirmed and everything, and also this whole thing, I don't know. Maybe this feature's only in campaign, but I fear that it could be a multiplayer as well. If it is, it's just gonna get nerfed to shit until nobody uses it, I guess, but yeah. If this is in multiplayer, I mean, that could be straight nightmare fuel. At the same time, do you make progress with both the riot shield and the gun? Like, say, for example, there's a challenge on the riot shield to absorb damage or something, or, quote, get a kill with the riot shield, but if you're using the riot shield and then kill somebody with the gun, I mean, you did technically use the riot shield in the process of killing them. So, like, does it count? Does it not count? There's so many questions and so many weird little things, and who knows if there's some sort of weapon platform for riot shields and shit. I don't know. Do some crazy shit, you know, like extra reinforced, or some sort of material that it's made out of that's like bulletproof, but it also like creates this ricochet effect where the person could actually do damage to themselves with their bullets or some shit. We also don't know. I mean, given they haven't changed the balance of the riot shield in years, but for a long time people asked about like kind of like a durability thing for it, but we'll see. I highly doubt that this will actually have like durability on it or something, but your hip fire accuracy is probably just like terrible or something if this is in multiplayer. But the riot shield's back. I'm gonna have to end up using that. And also, like I was talking about before, look at my class right here. I run around with a riot shield on my back in shipment. Now, I wouldn't run around with the riot shield on my back if it wasn't on shipment, just because shipment just makes no sense a lot of the time. And it got to the point to where, like, since I was grinding so much and I did all the Obsidian shit, Obsidian came out and I did a couple of them, and then I decided to go on that journey. And in the process of doing all the Obsidian stuff, I also realized every single person that I play into, they're doing everything in their power in every single underhanded way that they possibly can to win. They're taking every single advantage that they possibly can, any kind of tweak. So one big issue with the riot shield is that, at least even during Vanguard, for example, I used the riot shield on my back more often than I used it actually in front of me. One thing that's also weird about the riot shields when they brought them over to Warzone anyway is that you had multiple riot shields, like the Vanguard riot shield and the Modern Warfare riot shield, and like they are different, but they're not different enough. Do you know what I mean? I mean, at the same time, we have like 2 different Vargos and other weapons that are literally other weapons that are just named something different. It's not like that's never been the case, but I don't even, why is it that every single time I load this game up, I have to put it into full screen? It fixes my frame rate, and then I can switch back to borderless window, and now my frames are back. I'll randomly get locked at like 100 FPS with horrible refresh. So UFC Fight Night, we got Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. There's a lot of like seemingly one-sided fights on this card for whatever reason. I don't know why, but not necessarily that all of these, you know, fights that I'm gonna mention are gonna be one-sided or anything, but the majority of the fights I feel like are kind of obvious picks. I mean, obviously anything can happen. It's fighting, so. Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa, Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori. Other fights people probably won't recognize because I don't think I've ever even talked about the majority of them. Except on the prelims, Joaquin Buckley is actually against Imavov. I don't know why Joaquin Buckley is on the prelims. Like, I understand that, you know, he doesn't win every single fight and shit, but he's an entertaining fighter, and every single fight that he's in is a good fight. Win or lose, he has good, entertaining fights. And I mean, if you look at the other fights that are on the main event card, no offense to those guys, but I feel like a Joaquin Buckley fight would be better on a main event card than some of the ones that they already have on there. Joaquin Buckley versus Imavov, I think Imavov is probably going to win that. I think Joaquin Buckley is kind of a perfect matchup for Imavov. Imavov is always looking for, you know, counters and shit. Obviously, Joaquin can hurt him. Obviously, Joaquin can win. I'm not saying it's a, you know, a guarantee, but stylistically speaking, they're both really dangerous, and Joaquin can make some mistakes, so, you know, not like Imavov can. His mistake would be not getting the fuck out of the way of anything Joaquin is throwing at him, but I'm gonna go Imavov on that fight. I really do enjoy watching Joaquin Buckley, though. No matter what, win or lose, I just watch the guy. Dude, you can't land a spinning back kick the way that he did and not be legendary at least. Give some respect. Every other fight on the prelim, And then a lot of the fights over on the main card also are just kind of... And again, a lot of these cards that just have fights that don't seem like they'll really be much always end up being insanely good, so... And recently it's been great, so... I'm obviously gonna watch all the prelims. I always do. Then we got Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori. I feel like Robert Whittaker is literally just gonna be way too good for Vettori. I feel like Whittaker is gonna be too fast, too strong. I don't think he's gonna be able to finish Marvin. As straightforward and as simple as Marvin Vettori is as a fighter, people describe him as a fucking orc. He just has the most basic striking, powerful, good wrestling base. He will keep trying. He's got a good gas tank. He's always game, and he can take a fucking shot. He's never been KO'd despite how, you know, questionable his defense can be at times. Wrestling is Marvin's strong suit if you don't watch him fight. Obviously, there are kicks in there too. Everybody throws some kicks usually, but Marvin's very straightforward. Whittaker, on the other hand, is literally a championship caliber fighter with a championship caliber skill set. His footwork is going to be too much for Marvin to deal with. Marvin's going to be chasing him around the entire night. He's going to kick his front leg to death, just like Izzy was doing to him a single time. I don't think he'd be able to take Robert down a single time, unless he somehow managed to hurt him in the process, or there was like a mistake on Rob's part or some shit. Marvin Vettori's toughness and grit and endurance and shit is a great asset. It's really, really difficult to deal with, but champions deal with that every single fight. And then Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. Again, it's going to be a very, very similar thing. It's going to be very similar to Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis, except this time around, I mean, I understand that Tai Tuivasa beat Derek Lewis. That was crazy. And I have to clarify this. Tai Tuivasa is a very entertaining fighter, and I'll watch any single fight that he's in anyway. Losing does not prevent me from watching a fighter. Watching what they do that is actually like a fun thing and entertaining thing to watch. And it doesn't have to be striking. In this case, it is. You know what I mean? The heavyweight, the majority of the time, it's pretty terrifying striking. I enjoy it, but this matchup is... Yeah. I feel like Tai Tuivasa is a bit more willing to throw caution to the wind, not even care that, like, he's gonna make a mistake or something. He's the type of fighter that he'll eat one to give one if he knows he'll land clean. Derek Lewis tends to not like getting hit very much. No one likes getting hit, but you know what I'm saying. People tend to react different ways. Cyril Gane is much taller. Cyril Gane has a giant reach advantage. Cyril Gane is basically the same size as Francis. I don't care how many times you keep trying to put me back in the same game. I'm not playing it. I don't care. I spent the first year of Modern Warfare sitting here complaining about skill-based matchmaking. I understand the skill-based matchmaking war is basically lost. It is what it is. They see too many positives from it. I get it. It's a shame that there are going to be people out there that come and play a video game and then get a little bit better at it and then get into the lobbies of them, you know, getting smashed by other people, but they kind of would rather, you know, try to get that much better. They're just playing the game now. They're not trying to go pro. They're not trying to actively get better. They just so happen to be a little bit above average. And now they're playing in lobbies with people that literally do this shit, you know, as their job. But that doesn't happen to the majority of players, clearly. Statistically, it doesn't. So it is what it is. Just, I guess, try not to get too good at the game. Cyril Gane is literally just gonna dance around Tai as Tai literally just chases him around the octagon. He's gonna have to really try to cut Cyril off if he wants to try to, you know, corner him and then try to, like, throw a combo in the pocket. That's not where Cyril wants to be. So the one place that Cyril is definitely gonna get destroyed, if he decides to try to stand and trade in the pocket with Tai Tuivasa, he's gonna lose. Cyril Gane is gonna get knocked the fuck out and trying to do some stupid shit like that. But again, understand, Cyril Gane isn't stupid. He's one of the most intelligent, if not the most intelligent heavyweight out there. He's not gonna be there. Somehow he needs to surprise him. He can't keep throwing the same kind of punches at him. because he's gonna adjust, he's gonna adapt, he's gonna know exactly what you're trying to throw at him, what you're trying to land. What stance do you stand in whenever you do it? Can you even switch stances after you choose your front leg up? I'll be insanely surprised if Tuivasa ends up winning. So obviously, I'm going with Cyril Gane in this. So the 3 fights I'm looking at, Buckley versus Imavov, I'm going Imavov. Whitaker versus Vittori, I'm going Whitaker. And Gane versus Tuivasa, I'm going Gane.